Hey everyone, it's Jill with stampwithjill.com, and today we are going to make the large die of the month for you gift card holder. And this is the die set here. I have actually pulled it off of the holder, but let me show you what this makes. This is the first gift card holder that I made, and it was total trial and error to try and figure out how to make it. So it makes this adorable little purse, and out of the purse comes the gift card. So we are going to put one of these together, but I'm also going to show you this one that I made. I skipped the handles and made it into a gift card pouch, and I added more vellum to the top to make it look more full. So there are a few things I learned along the way, and I'm going to share those with you. But this one I made with the Hamburger Delights die, and this is the Shake It Off stamp set from Honeybee, so because I wanted them to enjoy the McDonald's gift card, so you can give the gift of fast food and french fries. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've already die cut a few pieces of the die. You need to cut 2 of these, and it's best if you have patterned paper that you cut them both in the same direction. So for this one, it kind of goes in any pattern, so it's not as important, but for like this one, the chevron goes in the same direction, so when you turn it over, you want it to be to line up when you glue it together. So what I did was I actually took 2 pieces of designer prints paper, and I put them on my die cutting machine like this and cut them at the exact same time. Then they are the exact same pattern. So if you have a stripe like this, then it's easy to line up. For this one, we're using a black floral, and so I've gone ahead and I've cut those 2. I've also gone ahead and cut 2 white handles because I do want to show you how they go on. And then for this guy, I left it cut, and I left it in the actual frame of the die cut so you could see how it cuts. So I just took a scrap piece of white and I put this frame, which is separate from this. So I just taped it into place and then ran it through, and what you get is the insert for your pouch, which is this piece here. So the best part about this die is that this little piece is separate. So this you can use to put in almost anything. So, for example, if you have a card, I have one right here, you can actually take this panel on the inside and die cut a spot for a gift card. So this right here, this piece is worth the large die of the month. We only have one more day to get it, and that's the last day of April. Hopefully they'll have extra stock and put it up for sale afterwards. I just got to this month. It's been here for a while. So this little piece here is worth buying the whole thing. Besides the cute little purses that it makes, this piece right here is super versatile. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So for this guy, all you do is fold this down and it creates this pocket. And that's where you're going to put your tissue paper. So I actually used vellum, and I cut 3 pieces. And the reason why I cut 3 is because 2 is lopsided, 1 looks kind of empty and not enough. This is just 1 piece of vellum. And I chose the vellum because you can see the lines. Now I'm gonna go up here and hopefully you can see. It creates these little score lines, and they're easy to see in the vellum. You could just fold up some tissue paper and shove it in there. That would be fine too, but if you can sort of see, it's kind of hard for me to see it in the camera screen and video at the same time, but you can see that there are some score lines on there. Oh, and this was something else that I pre-cut, and that looks like this, and I just cut 3 of them. All right, so the die also has a tag, which is here, and that comes out looking like this that you can stamp on and attach to your bag. It also has this thing to create a tassel. I'm not a very big fan of tassels, so I did not bother to make that. But it also has the die cuts that say for you. So there's an F, and it's kind of a scripty, so for and you. And I pre-cut these in some peach. mostly to play with it and to see it. So I'm going to zoom in there for you. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on the bag or not, but we have it ready if we need to. All right, so here we go. There are some score lines here. You are going to want to fold on those. And there's some on the bottom. Now, if you are making a bag, it's super easy to line these up. So I'm going to just move some of these pieces out of the way. So here we go. We got a fold on this one. I do not have my bone folder handy, so we're just going to use my finger. All right, and then what you want to do is you want to line them up going in the exact same direction. Now, if you want, you can cut this piece off with some scissors, which I think I will do right on the score line. You don't have to. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some glue here, and we're going to glue these right together. So I have some liquid glue, and we are just going to put a little line of glue here, and just a thin one, because if you put too much, it's going to goo out. So you just need a thin line, and then it makes this really easy to line up. So you want the top of your bag and not the score line. So the top of your bag should be even, and then you'll have this little V at the bottom. And then you just want to give the glue about 10 seconds. So you can see that you have some wiggle room with the glue when it's liquid. If you were to use some sticky strip or some white liner tape, any of whatever your favorite adhesive is. So you can see here, it's all glued in the middle. And if it goos out, like I have a little bit on my finger, all you have to do is rub it with an adhesive eraser. So now I'm on the inside of my bag. And what you want to do is you just want to put a little bit of glue here. So same thing, not too much because it goos out. And then a little bit of glue here. So if you were to cut this off, it would close like a door, like this. Since I didn't cut it off, it's going to be a little bit poofier, but you're just going to want to close this up just like that. And if you have them folded pretty good with your fingers, and then you're just going to hold it for about 10 seconds. You can put a clear block on top, but for this video, we're just going to go with it. I mean, this glue dries really quickly. Now you have your pouch. So what I did with these, I thought they looked really pretty with a tab at the top. So yeah, you can see there's glue on my finger. So this one is just a 1/2 inch strip of paper, and I just wrapped it around, and then I glued the handles on top. For this one, same thing. It is a 1/2 inch strip. Looks like this. It's just a scrap from when I trimmed down my cardstock. I saved them. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it around the top of the bag to give the bag like a folded over look. You absolutely do not need it, but I think it adds a nice little bit of style. So this also is super easy. It's just a 1/2 inch. You want to just have it longer. I think it's by 8.5. But so what you're going to do is you're just going to line that up like that. Pinch it, let it dry for a second, and then you're just going to crease it here and go around the back. And then we're going to trim it off. You could tuck the fold under if you want. For me, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to trim it off. They're really going for the inside, so that little teeny tiny edge doesn't make much of a difference to me. All right, so then we're just going to glue this on like that. And now your bag has a top. So I'm just going to let that dry for a second before I trim this flap off. So this is definitely 8.5 by 1/2 inch. All right, so now mostly we're done. The hardest part of this die is the folding of the vellum and getting it into the bag. So I'm going to go ahead and fold these for you so you can see it. You really just have to fold. First, you want to just crease these score lines. It doesn't matter which way you go because you're going to change it. But you want to go up, down, before you put it in. So hopefully you can see the score lines. And then there's kind of a little one on here. But they pop right out with the vellum, so it's really easy to see. And then there's 2 here. So it's kind of like this skinny little fold. So you can definitely see them now. And I have 2 more Now, I've done these a couple times. The first one was a little tricky because you're like, they don't really go in order. They're not symmetrical. They're not even. There's skinny ones, fat ones, partial ones. Okay, so now you can definitely see where the lines are. So we're going to go ahead and fold the other ones as well. And I'm just going to do these real quickly for you. But it gets a little tricky putting them into the holder. So I'm going to grab some white liner tape too as soon as I fold these. So there's like this little corner here, and then this guy's right here, and then we have one right here, and then there's this guy. And then if you miss one, you can always go back to the other one. But this is also the top part of your, this curved edge goes on the top. And it does not have to be perfectly matched up with the score lines because you have 3 of them to kind of put together. All right, so then we're going to do the third one. And these ones are a little bit tougher to see, especially with the lighting that I have for shooting videos. I'm actually going to be changing my lighting because I don't like the shadows that you see when I'm filming. I have some track lighting in here. And I've had it for years. It was over a table before, but it's not really working so well for the videos. One of the light bulbs burned out. Long story short, the light bulb burned out. We replaced them with some LED. They're super bright and they kind of stink when they're on, so they're probably not very safe. Good news, I only put them on for shooting videos and photography. So anyway, I'm going to take them down and get better lighting, so hopefully my videos will be better. All right, so now I folded on all of them. So what you're going to do is you want to go down. So one fold goes down, one fold goes up. Can't quite grab that one today. This fold goes down, this fold goes up, and it basically becomes like an accordion. This fold goes down, this fold goes up, this fold goes down, this fold goes up, and then you can see that you have this kind of scrunchy little piece of vellum. And this is the frustrating part because it does not line up at the bottom. It's not perfect, and then you can just change it so it's there. It's kind of more flat. So I'm going to set that one down so you can see it, and then I'm going to do it again. So this time I'm going to go down, up, down, up. And once you've already folded these, the down up part goes really quick. So you can go down. This little guy's going to go up. I think I'll just leave that, and then we can go down and up. These kind of overlap here, so you probably have to maneuver it. So up, and then this guy can go down. So it's not perfect, but when you put it with this guy and you start layering them, it starts to look a little better and looks more like tissue paper. Now, this is actually Vellum cardstock, which is all I had in my stash. Vellum paper will definitely be easier to maneuver instead of Vellum cardstock because it won't be as stiff. So there you got, now we have 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put this in here. And I'm just reaching over and grabbing my white liner tape. And what I do is I put a piece right here on the back of the die, and that's just going to hold that vellum in place on the actual gift card holder part. So there we go. So now this is the back. So you want to put it on the back, fold the flap down, but don't undo it. So now you're going to want to put these in here like this, and you're going to maneuver them to kind of layer. 3 seems to be the best number. And because they're folded differently, they kind of fit together, like some of your pleats can overlap. So now you can see it doesn't really matter if they're not folded correctly. So so just what you saw there is exactly why we need the tape on the back, because it just falls out. So I'm going to go ahead and peel this out, and I want this guy all the way over to the edge. And then I want this guy in the front. So we're gonna go ahead and shove that into the front. And you can peel off. The vellum doesn't stick totally, so you have some wiggle room. You can also use liquid glue. And then we're gonna put this guy, this third one, right in the back, because you don't want your gift bag looking sparse. Now this third one isn't really sticking, but we have a trick for that. So, oh, it would help if I actually peeled off both pieces of tape too, right? Okay, so there we go. So now we can smush that in, and that's gonna hold it together pretty good while you finish it off. So then you can put another piece of tape here to kind of hold it. And the stronger the adhesive, the better. And then what I do is I add even more. So I'm gonna just go ahead and peel that off, but you're gonna wanna put some here too. The last thing you want is your gift card holder falling apart when the recipient takes it and opens it. So you're gonna go ahead and put your super strong adhesive here. And basically this is gonna catch anything else that's loose on the back side and hold it in place. So just peel those off. And then this back part just kind of flips down, and then you catch anything that isn't secure. And now it's all ready to go. So I'm just gonna borrow the gift card out of this one so you can see how easy it is to put together. This is a Starbucks gift card, but you just literally bend these guys back and put that in there. So now it's ready to go right into your pouch, and look how stinking cute that is. Now this bag isn't quite done, so there's a tag. Let's see, let me clear off some of this. I did cut the tag, so you can stamp on there, you can handwrite the recipient's name, but it's really stinking cute if you hang it on the handle. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna feed the handle through, and I am just gonna literally put a dot of glue here and put my handles on. So I'm gonna take my gift card out so you can see the handle go into place. So you're just gonna wanna press and hold, and see this kind of floats. And then what you do is you curl this around, and you don't wanna put a ton of glue here because it'll goo out and get all over, but you're just gonna line those up. I don't measure, I don't make it perfect, but there's one side, and this glue dries pretty quick. So now you have this cute little handle on this purse with the tag hanging off, and then you just wanna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. You could secure them with brads. I don't think you have to. I think the glue will be perfect. So you're gonna wanna order this today or tomorrow, because we are almost out of time. These will be perfect for Mother's Day gifts, for purses. They're good for birthdays. They're good for so many things. And not only, if you don't want to put a gift card in there, you can put some flat candy like Ghirardelli chocolates, some Kit Kat bars, jewelry will fit in here. All right, so here we have the bag. We have the insert with the coffee card. Now, if I was really prepared, we could have a cute little coffee cup on the front. But for now, I'm gonna put this on here, and it's gonna say for and you. So the brighter the color, my hands are a little shaky today. So you could just go easy and die cut the words and put those right on top like that. Or you can go ahead and put a coffee mug. I'm gonna go ahead and put a coffee mug on this one. Okay, so I've grabbed a few things, and I have gotten out my Coffee First die set from FSJ, and that looks like this. It has a whole bunch of dies. I think I forgot to zoom out a little bit. There we go. So there you go, you can see that. I actually have a cup and a corrugated little cozy here, but I still have to cut the top. So I grabbed a piece of white here, and I need to cut 2 of these lids. So I have to move a few things out of the way. I grabbed my handy little Sidekick here. I am going to go ahead and lock that to the table, and I'm just going to cut these both at the same time because they're tiny and a pretty simple, intricate thing. So I have 2 pieces of scrap here. I have this ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and put it right on my plates here. And we're just going to go ahead and crank that through my little Sidekick. And it's going to cut 2 lids at the same time. All right, so we have that. And then we're just going to put the cup together. And then I have the little cup of happiness because I'm giving a cup of happiness when you give a Starbucks gift card. So the reason why I cut 2 is because I cut one of these little guys off to make the rim of the cup. So it's just easier to cut 2 at once, and then you don't have a lid without a ridge. All right, so put a little liquid glue on there. Glue this right on. I did forget to cut the straw, but for this one, I always like my coffee with a straw. So there we go. There you have the lid. I'm gonna sponge this with some, just a little bit of, I think, oatmeal cookie. All right, so we're just gonna dip this in the ink pad and just give the edges a tiny bit of texture for the mug. So it looks more like coffee without, I'm trying to keep with the black and white theme with a touch of brown. So we're going to go ahead and glue this cozy on like so. And then I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of glue here for the lid. And this is the tallest cup in the set. And then I'm going to just go with some black ink here for the, so here we go. So what I could do is I could use my Misty and stamp For You or Enjoy, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a cup of happiness here. I think it's going to fit like this. So, or I could put it on the front of this. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to do that. So let's go ahead and put that there with some foam squares. And we can go ahead and put that right in the center. Would definitely look cuter with the straw. I probably will go back and add that. And then what we can do is we can add For You on here. Let's see, I don't have one handy, so let me grab it because I don't want to use the die cut. I brought in my mini Misty and we're going to add a sentiment strip to the inside of the gift card holder. So I picked up my Shake It Off from Honeybee Stamps because it has the most fun sentiments for coffee, and I just have this scrap piece of white. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to line this up as close as I can to the top edge, and I'm going to go ahead and close the door, and I'm just going to ink this in black ink and because the bag is black. So I was going to use some different stamps here like this coffee cup, but I ended up going with this, so I moved to that. So this way here, you will get a top-lined sentiment. So that's a little bit light, so I need to re-ink this ink pad, but I'm just going to stamp it twice to get it a little bit darker. Okay, so that's the first thing that we're going to stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that. I'm going to peel this off and set it aside. And then what we're going to do is, since I already attached the tag to the bag, and I did go ahead and add a straw to here, is I'm going to turn my Misty. I'm going to use my bar magnet to put this together right here. And I'm going to use the word Enjoy, which is also from this Shake It Off stamp set, and we're going to put this right on here. So you really have to kind of play with your magnet position so it doesn't move. And I'll have to put my tape down a little bit here. So this is just washi tape to hold that out of the way. So now you can see that I can get this right here. So what I'm doing is I'm moving it so it's total, in case it moves when I close the door, I have it lined up right with that grid line. So now we can move that. So see, it did move just a smidge, so I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to get these little foam square backings out of the way, and I'm going to stamp the word enjoy. So this one, hopefully I don't have to stamp it twice. Yeah, I could use a second one. So you're just going to be really careful not to move it while you put a little more ink on there. And then there, perfect. So now we're going to take this off. We have the perfect enjoy, and we have this little perk it up sentiment. So let me move this out of the way. So now you have enjoy. Now you could totally just put like a heart in here. Actually, I think we will put a heart in there. So I have these sparkle hearts. I think we'll put one right there in the center. Good idea. Nothing like designing the gift bag as we go. I did kind of smush the handles a little bit. So you just want to take your fingers and smooth those out. They're pretty thin paper, so they're flexible. So I did smush them in my MISTI. Tip, stamp your tag before you assemble the bag. All right, so there we go. So let me pull back in the gift card piece. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach this right to the front. And it's going to say a little something to perk you up. So let me go ahead and trim that. Okay, here you go. We got this nice and tightly trimmed. I trimmed right up to as close as I could get it with my paper cutter. And it's going to sit right on top of there. Now, you don't want to glue it to the gift card because then they won't have a chance to get it out. So we're going to use some of these little tiny foam squares, and we are just going to attach it to the top. So there we go. So now it looks even better than just a plain gift card. And even though there's some dimension on here, it's still going to fit into the bag. So you're just going to want to slide it in carefully. And there is your finished project. Thanks for joining me today.